So, viewers, fans, subscribers, Guilty Gears, all the same out there, I want to introduce you guys to the next episode of the Space Bridge, the podcast series here for the Iacon Battle Circuit here for console, sometimes PC. In my wrapping up synopsis to understand a lot of the ups and downs and the theoretical journey that Guilty Gear has gone in since the first season coming to us from beta through everything that Bandai and ArcSys has given us for the game, and now here at the front door to a new horizon in the 2.0 aspect. Join with me here in chronicling a lot of the wrap up here and getting ready to head off into the new area here is none other than my sensei, Lord Knight.
Hello. Hello, how are you? Oh, wow.
It's going pretty good, man. How you been out there?
I'm chilling, day by day.
I feel that. How excited are you for the new stuff coming out?
I mean, at this point, I'm pretty excited, but it would be nice if they just put the patch notes out so we can know what's up, pretty much.
It would be nice if they put that out first, because I have a feeling like
Yeah.
they usually do that like the night before.
No, they usually do it like 2 days before. I just feel like in this case specifically, there's so much discourse about like Street Fighter didn't do enough, and then Tekken is bad. So like
The
I
pressure's
feel
on.
like they actually have a lot of pressure to make a good patch, and then usually people don't like the initial Strive update. They usually like the balance, the further balance that they do. So, um, it'd probably be better for them to just show what's going on sooner, but it shouldn't be that much. I think it's next Tuesday that they're going to actually talk about the update.
Okay. Like have
Yeah,
like a general like live stream that goes over all
yeah,
of the
they have one
updates.
planned. Hmm. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go ahead and delve into it. So, my first question is with this update, does Strive still feel like the same game or does it feel like we're entering into a whole new game?
Hmm. Uh, I mean, frankly, it depends on what they actually end up doing with it, but uh, I would somewhat just. It kind of depends on how you feel. Like, for example, it's like, do you think there's a big difference between like Guilty Gear Accent Core and Guilty Gear Accent Core Plus R, or do you feel like there's a really big difference between like Blaze Blue Chrono Phantasma Extend and Blaze Blue Central Fiction? And if you do think it's a really big difference, then probably Strive is a new game. And I mean, regardless, it's going to be a major update. Like, I think I think the removal of a system mechanic and one that the game's been played around. Sorry, like a major focus of the game has been this mechanic, Model Salt, for like 2.5 years. So that actually greatly affects the game. Um, so I would go as far as saying it's a new game. But it also depends on like how truly like how far they go with what they do, because also in the past, like you played Dragon Ball. It's Dragon Ball Season 1 and Season 2, but in the past, Season 2 would be like Dragon Ball Fighters Namek Saga. They would just call it some shit, you know,
Oh yeah, and
and
just like extend
pay
it from
you.
there.
Yeah, you would pay like $40 for a couple extra characters and the balance patch. So it just depends on how you feel about that. In the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next question. At what point does an update become a sequel in disguise?
Yeah, that's not no. They would have to like you would know, you know, right? Like what example do you have of feeling like an update was a sequel in disguise? Like, do you have one? I don't think you do.
I would say off the top of my head, it would probably have been the update from the last patch on either Injustice 2, where it felt like it was a different game when they changed the mechanics that's set up for MK11's engine. or it would be I want to say fighters in the patch after, like this most recent one that happened last year before. I think it felt like it went into like a whole new thing here, where it felt like it's just like a whole new thing going on here for the game instead of continuing it. It doesn't feel like how it was pre lab coat nerf. Those are the best two examples I can think of that would like be the closest to like that example.
It's pretty interesting. Like pretty much from my perspective, if they don't say it's a sequel, it's not a sequel to me. You know, I mean, I guess calling it Strive 2.0 kind of like suggests that a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I mean, even if it is to some degree, that's not really a bad thing because it's still getting longevity out of the main thing without the necessitation of an added purchase.
Yeah.
Next question. Who benefits most from a shakeup like this? Would it be new players or veterans?
I think everyone benefits. So in the case of veterans, so we're assuming like competitive players, like, and the competitive landscape, some people are going to be tired of how the meta is. So like one thing about Strive is like while season 4 has some new like top characters, like Potemkin is a standout, but then there's also like Anji, in my opinion. A lot of the characters that have been good like since launch, so since like 2021. So like there's like Leo Whitefang. He the lowest he's ever been is like top of high tier, or like the lowest Ram has ever been is like top of high tier. Same with Chip. Like there's just some characters that are like just always really good. So if you're a tournament player and you like your character and you're like every now and then there's like a character like sneak in, for a patch or two. So if you're like, oh man, I hope this is the Testament patch or whatever, it's like 5 years of like no, not even close, by the way, in like Testament case, or right. Then them saying, while they say the beginning of each season has major balance updates, and they do, uh, making it announcing it in a way that it seems to be like a more extreme or a bigger one, along with reworks and stuff, is a point of hope. Especially since they already said that Happy Chaos and Asuka have gotten major rework, which we've seen what that's looked like. Frankly, for the negative, because that's the reworks are Ram and Potemkin. Those are characters that they drastically reworked, and Ram was ridiculously broken, won the World Tour, the previous World Tour event. A great player on her, of course, but like she was ridiculously broken. They had to like patch like her bugs and shit, and then like Pot ended up being like the best character. Like,
Oh yeah.
so it's not, if when people hear rework, they're hoping like, oh, they're nerfed. We don't actually know, but at least like for people who are really committed to the game, hearing a major shakeup like this is, not only is the game gonna be fresh, but hopefully you get some new tools and hopefully the meta gets shaken up a little bit. For new players, I think they benefit from like the number one benefit I think they get is the feeling that they're not behind. That's like a really, really like big wall for people, is feeling like they have to catch up. So even though like truthfully you'd have to catch up no matter what, so it's like you might as well start, right? Like no matter what game you play, you have to catch up, no matter what.
Right.
The feeling that the game is brand new and like the starting line is like everyone's brought back to the starting line, is a good feeling too. So I actually think like pretty much everyone kind of benefits from um a big new update like this.
Okay. Next question. Taking into account the process of the removed mechanic, and then just like its general reaction and impact with a lot of people, depending upon who may have liked it, who didn't like it. So, the removed system, Wild Assault. I remember at first this was something where it was used like a super for wall break that led to the sliding knockdown, and then over time the properties changed when the RC color properties changed through the years. What did the remove system like do for the game when it was relevant?
So I can summarize like Wild Assault and why it's such a big deal that they removed it. So basically in 3.0 they add this system mechanic, and what there's like three types, right? There's red, blue, and white. So the white they give to the big bodies. Blue they give to like setup leaning characters or technical leaning characters, but not totally, because there are other characters who get blue. So for example, Elfelt used to have blue Wild Assault before they switched her to red, which she currently has.
I remember
And
that.
red is kind of like the all-round one, right? So the initial thing is, actually, Wild Assault came with other changes. It's not like Wild Assault and the Flex Shield, right? There is Wild Assault and changes to the burst system. So like traditionally in Arxis games, when you burst somebody successfully, a defensive burst, so like a combo breaker burst, you use 80% of your burst. I think maybe Persona is an exception. I just forget off the top of my head. But generally use 80% of your burst unless there's a special thing. Like another example is like BBCS1, they have like burst stocks. So it's like when you start round one, both players have one burst, and then the player that wins round one cannot use a second burst in round two. So like let's say we're playing, we both burst, I win the round. In round two, I am not allowed to burst, but you get an extra burst.
Oh, it resource locks you. Yeah.
Yeah. That's BBCS1. They changed that, obviously. That system kind of sucks too, by the way. But just saying that they've experimented with the burst system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Guilty Gear has had this like defensive burst 80%, and the reason why you could say really strongly is 80% too is a lot of Guilty Gear games, the burst icon is it's the word burst, and it will empty to the letter B. So it's like, okay, so pretty straightforward. So what they did in season 3 when they added Wild Assault the Flex Shield is there's a little marker in the middle of the burst gauge now to let you know where 50% is. And when you burst, both bursts completely empty your burst, but the rate of burst regeneration is faster compared to before, and then it adjusts depending on how much HP you currently have, right? So it kind of like trying to like have a resource that everyone has at the start of the round, because not all characters have like a character specific resource, right? Like Soul doesn't have a fire meter. He just does gunflame, right? And initially, Wild Assault's on block and charge Wild Assault on block. Let's say I'm gonna make up a number for normal Wild Assault because I forget, but it's like on block would take away like 10%, and the charge one would take away like 20. And then Wild Assault on a hit would take away like 15, and charge Wild Assault would take away like close to 30. So you had that aspect. Then it's like the actual effects of what they do, right? So for big bodies, the thought is like, so big bodies is invul and frame 9 and +7 guard crush. And the big thought was like, oh, like traditionally big bodies suck against zoning, so we'll give them this neutral thing. If it whiffs, then you use 50% of your burst. Too bad. But if it connects, then you get a knockdown. Maybe you get a combo if it's charged. And if they block it, you used half your burst. That's huge because you can't break combos. So your reward will be you get this +7 guard crush, right? And Blue Wild Assault is like Iacon has Blue Wild Assault, so it's like Blue Wild Assault Tether, or like Jacko has Blue Wild Assault, so it's like Blue Wild Assault Minion. It's like that's a lot of the Blue Wild Assault characters. Lucy has Blue Wild Assault, so it's like Blue Wild Assault guaranteed hacking. I forget what it's called. It's like nerve. I don't know. You're tweaking. I don't know.
I think I remember some of that. Lucy's is like a debuff.
Yeah. It's like a status effect you put on somebody. It's guaranteed when you use Blue Wild Assault, right? And then Red Wild Assault is the fastest out of the three. 15 frames to the 20. The other two are 20. On block, it's cancelable into normals, and on hit, it's cancelable into normals. Pretty simple. Easy for it. The problem was, and some people forget about this because this is a thing. It's like if you're not good at the game, you probably did not experience the worst part of season 3. Is like from round start, basically both players have Oki on each other unless you play a White Wild Assault character, which also Loki you had Oki from round start. And if you played a Red Wild Assault character like Ram or Chip or something, if you hit them, you could lock them on a burst, put them on a wall. The wall is burst. The wall you can't burst when you're on the wall, right? And then you Wild Assault again. and then it's, as you said, the water assault is a hard knockdown, right? So the water assault is a hard knockdown. So the neutral wall break, you're a Dragon Ball player too, right?
Mm-hmm.
The neutral wall break, you have to use your super. It's like using level 3, because if you don't do it, then you go back to neutral, right? But the problem with wall assault being a hard knockdown, so for the dev side, they're like, oh well, it costs your burst. It's really expensive, right? So that's fair. You use your wall assault, use 50% of your burst, and here you go, right?
Right.
The problem is when you wall break, you get positive. And in season 2, they buffed the fuck out of positive. So like season 3 and season 4, the devs started talking about like what was the mission, the real mission, right, of it, right? So for example, season 4 has like very small system changes. The big emphasis was like really changing characters. Characters got giga juiced in season 4, right? But season 2, they noticed that people didn't like breaking the wall. They found a bunch of ways to prevent wall break, or only wall break in certain situations where they have like giga advantage, right? So season 2, what they did was the biggest change that they did in season 2 was that when you fast Roman cancel, depending on the speed of you executing a fast Roman cancel, you will actually refund yourself a little bit of the meter. So, for example, if you're like a Amelia player, you do like close slash bad moon fast RC, right? When you do that fast RC, you need 50 to do it, but you'll refund yourself around 7 to 10% meter, 7 to 10 meter, right?
If
So
it
you
succeeds
do
or if
it
it's on block.
either, just as long as you do the fast RC, so
Oh,
it doesn't matter, right? Fast RC from game launch also had another benefit of it has shorter meter penalties. So the shortest meter penalty in the game is fast BRC. It might as well not exist. It's so fast, right? But the longest meter penalty is YRC. So you have that. And just to make sure people actually tried to investigate fast RC, they also had another effect that they put on fast RC where during the fast RC, even though it's a really small amount of time that fast RC is actually happening, you will have slowdown. Okay, because at launch it did not work that way. That's why people didn't use it very much. So what this ended up doing was that with this, we'll go back to the round start situation with like Ram or Chip. We use Chip, right? Mm-hmm. So you had the nerve to hit a button against Chip. He hits you with a button, wall assault. He breaks the wall, uses wall assault again. He probably has like 30 meter, but positive gives you a defense boost, a damage boost, and a passive meter boost, right? So as soon as he runs up to you and does one button, he has 50. So then he tries to hit you with like dust or something fast, right? He fast RCs it. You block it. Positive bonus lasts for 8 seconds, and Chip can do like close slash, 2S, 2H, Rekka 1, Rekka 2, fast RC. That he auto gets 50. So he could do that over and over and over and over again for 8 seconds until he actually hits you. And then when he hits you, he could break the wall again with Wild Assault because he's going to get it back from positive bonus. The positive bonus is so long that you get back one Wild Assault anyway, right? And then it's either you pick what you want to do. It's like, like I have like 75 or 80 meters, so I use my super, I hold my Wild Assault. Or, oh man, I got like 20 meters, so like I'll do Wild Assault, do it again, right? It is incredibly powerful, very easy. A lot of characters can do it, and it's all characters that were already really good. It's like Ram was good at it, like Leo's good at it, Chip's good at it, and luckily the general play of the game didn't turn into that. But if we played on that patch for like 7 months or 8 months, then the memes would have go like out of control. So they nerf it. They nerf the system. What they decide to do is they nerf Red Water Assault for the first time. By the way, they nerf Red Water Assault every patch. Every patch they put out since they put out Water Assault, they nerf Water Assault. Really? Every single patch. Yes, every single patch it gets nerfed. The first patch, the 3 month, it's like 3 months after 3.0 comes out, when Alpha comes out. They make the amount of burst that gets taken from Water Assault to universally be 7% on hit, and like I think even less on block. I kind of forget. And then they slow down charge red wall assault so that you can't because charge red wall assault also you could just fucking do giga bombos off like the most random shit. So by nerfing it just by one frame, it took away like almost everybody's. Like there's only a couple characters that like kind of reliably get to do super huge combos with charge red wall assault. But then they buff white wall assault because they notice people don't use it that much, and they double the length of white wall assault.
Oh my gosh.
So now it's like almost Bardock Lariat like type shit, except it's like fucking +7, you get 50/50 off of it. And then Potemkin, it's like Potemkin, Bedman, Gold Lewis, and Nago, and 2 of those characters fucking have command grab. So if you block white wall assault for them, they just 50/50 you. They just do it. And as we continue to play with or at least in my case, I say we, but like as I continue to play with it, so probably like one of my most famous tournament runs is on that patch, right? It's on that 3.1 patch, and it's with Iacon. Japan thinks Iacon's like bottom 3, and I think NA has her like bottom 7. They don't rate her very high. Nobody rates her very highly. Like she's shit. And I was kind of like, dude. So another way they nerfed wall assault is they buffed and nerfed positive bonus. They made positive bonus they reduced the duration by like more than 50%. It's only like 3.5 seconds now, as opposed to 8. But they buffed the rate of meter gain, and there's still the wall break. So I was like, oh, like for sure, like this is the game. Like the game is just optimized around like how well can you use this wall break and apply like some type of either burst lockout or a massive win condition where like you put them in a situation, I guess, where like if they hold, they have to deal with wall assaults or something related to wall assault that's like fucked. Or if they don't hold and you don't do wall assault, you also fuck them over. Because the thing about wall assault, so I had to go through all this because I need to explain like why they even put this mechanic in the first place.
Yeah.
Outside of the burst stuff, right? Outside of that, wall assault is a reasonably clever way of fixing a lot of problems with the game. So, like for example, like a lot of characters, because of the Gatling system that they have, a lot of characters, if you're a red wall assault character, they have buttons that like, for lack of a better word, have a solution. You know, so if you take like a soul like success, his cancel options of success is pretty shit. Like Gunflame, you have to be absolute max range to even consider doing it. Bandit Revolver, it has a solution, right? You fuzzy mash on it. Once you block it, you fuzzy mash on it. Bandit Bringer is risky most of the time. He had Fafnir at the time. I'm thinking about modern Fafnir. Like, I guess Fafnir in the past would have been okay, but even that move was like 20. I want to say like mid-20s at that time, as opposed to 18 now. So again, if they fuzzy mash you, you're screwed. And he has like Vortex, which is Giga punishable, and then like DPs. So by having Red Wall Assault, you have really good threat because it's so fast, you can't react to it, and it kind of creates more options for the attacker, and people are all begging for like more. Yeah, we want more options. We want more options. Then on top of that, because they're cancelable into normals, when you do Red Wall Assault, you get right back in their face. So it's like, let's say again, we're using Soul as an example, right? So Soul is not very good at hitting people. I know it's like a stupid sentence, but it's like he is like Bardock. He has essentially like no mix up most of the time, unless he has meter, right?
Okay, fair enough.
So
he just gets in.
Yeah, he just gets in. He conditions you. When I say he's not good at hitting people, it means he has to elicit a reaction from you. Eliciting a reaction from somebody is much more difficult than just doing a 50-50, right? So if Soul's with one of Soul's quote unquote problems is hitting people, how does he hit people? Well, when he has 50 meter, he can hit people because he has dust and he has a bandit revolver, and his throw is way safer because if you whiff throw, you can protect yourself, right?
Right.
So with no wild assault, he's gotta like kind of finesse that, right? Like you gotta like purposely not FD so you have more meter, and like you gotta steal turns. You probably have to do it in neutral, something, right? But wild assault is like, okay, you could do like close slash, far slash, 5H. 5H minus 5, that's the end of your Gatling. You only have special cancel options. It's similar to the 6S example I used, except 5H is safe on block, right? But you also have the threat of wild assault. So if you wild assault, you get back into close slash range, and then you can do close slash, far slash, 5H again. And Soul on top of that is like his close slash is +3 and his far slash +2. So he could do like close slash, dash close slash, steal 1 turn, far slash, steal another turn, delay 5H, delay wall assault, he's all the way back in, then dial close slash, far slash 5H, and then he has the meter for bandit to 50-50 you with that. Right? And then if you're wrong, you mash and he does wall assault, hits you, you die, you lose the game because he's gonna hit you, he's gonna do a big ass combo, and he's gonna have the meter to super you or use wall assault again, and then go to the sequence we talked about before. And he was really good at it because it's just button, bandit, fast RC, high, low, button, like that, right?
Pretty straightforward. Hell, but when you put it like that, that is actually like pretty straightforward for like the straightforward character like Soul.
Yeah, it's like an extra layer of assistance. So it's a Soul has it because of his close slash and far slash are plus. But like if you take a character like Kai, so if Kai like throws you, let's say I do like I'm Kai, I have no meter. I do close slash, you block it, I throw you. I do charge stun edge, dash 6k, that's +4. Then I do like dash close slash 2s 5h, 5h like -8. You don't know what I'm gonna do. I do delay wall assault, close slash, far slash, I already have 50. Guaranteed have 50. Oh, and plus I have fucking you're in shock state, so I could do food rock, and if you block it, that's just +4. I get to run again, and every time you move forward, also in this game, you get meter too, like Dragon Ball. So
That
like, you get 50 like that. Yeah, you get 50 immediately. Okay. For the blue Water Soul characters, this is not even talking about like combo shit with Water Soul. I forgot that.
Yeah,
that part.
This is base movement before we go into combo confirming extension and shit.
Yeah. So I'll use like we'll talk about this is wrong Kai. I'll talk about Kai and I'll talk about a character that like actually needs it. So like Kai, he has pretty consistent combos. You can do like far slash 5H stun dipper, but he has ranges where his 5H will whiff. But normally the fix would be to do stun dipper, but to actually like hit confirm that is kind of difficult, and most people don't have like the method, for lack of a better word. There's like a way, there's like a couple of ways you do it, but most people don't have them down, right? Mm-hmm. So the nice thing about Water Assault in this case is one, you can just blindly dial far slash Water Assault. If it hits, you do your bombo. If they block it, well, now you're in your face. Now you get to do close slash, and you're chilling, right? If you in the far slash 5H example, let's say the 5H connects, right? On block, now your opponent's like, it's -8, but he has Wild Assault, so it's like, what do I do? If you do Wild Assault, again, you just get in their grill, close slash, get to do whatever you want. If they hold, you get to greed meter a little bit, because you get to do like stun edge or like run in and just swing normally. Like it's a lot of like threat behind it. Or you have characters like Testament, where like Testament's far slash is so big that far slash 5H does not work often. It usually whiffs the 5H, right? So Wild Assault is a great fix for Testament because you can just also Testament's far slash loses to just a bunch of shit if you like lab against the character. It's character specific what you do, but it's usually involving your jump after you block Testament far slash. So having Wild Assault is a huge fix because then you could do far slash Wild Assault close slash H Reaper, and that's just plus like 3. And it's because you just get right in their face. So you just do far slash, Wild Assault, close slash into Car Reaper, you're right in their face, and you do 2k H Reaper again, and you got all this meter, you're in their grill, on hit, you get a bombo. You know, it was amazing help, making characters just way more threatening. For Blue Wild Assault, it's always because a lot of characters have like a let me use Jacko as an example. Like Jacko has to pull the minion. Like the only way she can pull the minion safely is by hitting you or throwing you. On block, it's like a guessing game, right? Guess. So with Wild Assault, you really simplify the guess in a really advantageous way because you could do Wild Assault into minion, and she's like +7, so you can't do shit. She just gets 2. You can't do shit. If you backdash to Wild Assault, okay, cool, that's sick. But then if she pulled a minion and you backdash, you just gave her a minion and she didn't spend her burst, and you're equally sad. And she has distance. Lots of little examples like that, right?
All right.
Then finally, White Wild Assault. The truly funny thing about White Wild Assault is that this game, you know, the logic goes like, oh, well, traditionally big bodies struggle against zoning and neutral, so we'll give them something to help with neutral, right? But Nago has a teleport that's cancelable into high-low at that time, and the teleport is low. I call Beyblade the teleport because it is. And he has clone that kills projectiles. And then he also has gigantic normals that always hit zoning. That's really hard for zoning to deal with most of the time. And then Gold Lewis has the minigun and then also drone. And then they buffed the minigun in season 4. So it's like, what the fuck's the point? And then Pot has flick and slide head and hammerfall. It's like, so it's like, why do they have so many ways? Fucking, they already have, Pot slide has fucking armor in the past. So it's like, did you really need to also give them an invincible fucking neutral poke that caused car crush? So, but at least the logic is, big bodies typically struggle with something.
Yeah, but they gave
So
him
with
a
all
hell of
that,
a they gave him a hell of a
yeah.
handicap then if they felt like he was struggling for being like a big grappler dude that you do got to play good neutral with it, but you got to worry about this
Mhm.
threatening thing in the background with it.
Mhm. So the whole thing kind of goes to like the removal then uh, kind of reintroduces a lot of these problems because some people, okay, if you're a Doom mining character you call it a problem, but it just actually introduces a lot of building, or reintroduces, because it was in the game before. I just reintroduced a lot of building in the game that people are not that used to. So for example, like I've seen like, so take May. May has red water salt. May with red water salt is obscene. So May with red water salt is like, she's a counter poker,
See,
right?
here, she's almost like a
Uh,
war criminal in her own right.
People say war crimes in fighting games way too flippantly. I wouldn't say war crime, but it is ridiculous. It is very ridiculous that she has this stuff. So she has these broken ass counter pokes, but if she doesn't actually counter hit you with them, she doesn't get much reward. She gets like 0 on hit or like +1 on hit, depending on stand crouch, because she's gonna go into dolphin, right?
Right.
With wall assault, that's wall break. That's wall break, and sometimes burst safe wall break, or very spooky to burst wall break. It depends on where you are on the screen and stuff. Um, and then on block, before they nerfed it in this patch so that you can't cancel red wall assault on block, it's like you get to be point blank or near point blank at +3, and she's a strike throw character, and she has a command grab on top of that, a combo command grab. So it's like when they removed it, I was like, oh, May's gonna feel it, because one of the reasons why we all say she's so broken is because like you can't whiff punish her at all. I mean, she's like one of the best characters at whiff punishing because she just fucking explodes you, red wall assault. Now the it goes back to, oh, you don't want to get counter hit by May. Getting counter hit by May sucks, but like getting hit by May is not that bad. Like normally getting hit by May is not bad unless she has 50-meter. So it kind of like reverts that, for example, right? Uh, or in the blue Wallace case, it's back to like what I said. It's like, oh, you have to play the guessing game around how are you gonna pull the minion? Are you gonna like sneak it in on a weird button, or like that stuff? And for White Wallace, those characters outside Bedman, those characters, they already have methods of fighting zoning that's advantageous. So it's like, what was even the point? You know what I mean? A long-winded explanation, but it's a really it's crazy that 236D changed the game like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It made
Yeah.
characters. It gave characters layers. It gave them mix. It gave added layers of like neutral or reward presence that they didn't initially like have in their like base design kit. Like it did wonders for other characters, and it did like base value presentation for others.
Mm-hmm. And last thing, but funny enough, I didn't actually say all the reasons why Red Water Soul is so broken. I only said some of them. There's so many reasons why Red Water Soul is so broken that like that could be like 30-minute discussion plus of just like why this shit is so broken. There's a couple more reasons why
Damn.
it's broken, but I'll
Fair
spare
enough.
you because they're more like they're more character specific reasons. I just talked about like the main like everybody reasons.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
mainstream, general. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Next question. The healthier. Actually, you already inadvertently answered that one. Actually, you inadvertently answered that one too.
I don't think so. I'm reading these questions. who loses the most from Wild Assault's removal? People who think they're good at the game lose a lot. I'm gonna be for real. If you think you're good at the game, you're gonna fucking feel it. Like they're gonna feel it. Like there's already character player bases where they're like, dude, like we get no reward off this hit, and I'm like, bro, this is my daily life, you know, because my character doesn't have red Wild Assault, so like a lot of the things that I already see some characters preemptively complaining about. I'm like, dude, I've been dealing with this the whole game, like, you know what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's more than fine. Honestly, it is better for the game. Truth be told, that they removed it.
I feel it is. Like, even though I don't see the vision, I feel like, okay, if it's been edited enough where just, instead of trying to sit there and wean it, just take it out.
Yeah.
Like, other games can actually take a note for that.
To be fair, too, they tried, there's been a lot of patches since Wild Assault came out, and every single, so it came out in 3, right? 3.1, they nerfed it. They nerfed and buffed it, because they buffed, well, in my head, the blue Wild Assault overall is like a slight nerf plus buff, but truthfully, they buffed blue Wild Assault. They just nerfed something that I did with it. So, you know, anyway, they buffed blue Wild Assault by adding 1 frame of block stun, okay, but then they buffed white Wild Assault by making it go 44% further than it used to. Cool. But then they nerfed red Wild Assault. And then they nerfed the bursts, the burst drain on red Wild Assault. Then in the next patch, because they balanced season 3 twice. That should tell you something about season 3 also.
Damn.
Because some people say season 4 is the worst, but this is. I mean, you could make the argument that they balanced season 4 twice too. To be fair to season 4, but they balanced season 3 again, and they nerfed Wild Assault again, and they took away the hard knockdown, and I think they left blue alone. That's the patch where they added the extra pushback to red Wild Assault so that you couldn't get close slash guaranteed. So actually, this is another thing that I'm very happy that not everyone figured out. But what people would do is top players would half charge red Wild Assault to get to the close slash range, but that's mashable. But it's just hard to do. So you had to like partly charge your red Wild Assault to get in their grill. And then white Wild Assault, they took away the guard crush and made it -3. Pretty good change.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, pretty good change. I actually think in 4.0 they might have left Wild Assault alone because they made a pretty big changes to the game, and they just nerfed Wild Assault in a pretty major way. But in this patch, this Lucy patch, they made it so you can't cancel red Wild Assault on block. They made it so you can't Roman can't, because what the white Wild Assault people started to do is that when they got 50 meter, they would do white Wild Assault red RC to get in. So they nerfed that too. They made it so you can't RC white Wild Assault. So they literally always nerf Wild Assault. I'm probably missing like scaling stuff too that they nerfed about it. So they nerfed it many times, and it still is not enough. So they did try. They really did try.
Right, and it makes sense that you like before you, because in some cases, I feel generally speaking, like removing a mechanic in a game is a really major thing. It's not something that you just do lightly.
It is.
Next question: was it healthy or problematic in hindsight?
It was a huge problem. It was a huge problem. I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna share with you what my biking strategy was in season 3.1. Tell me if it sounds good to you. Right?
Yeah, all right, lay it on me.
Okay. Tell me how good does it sound to you? You round start. Okay, I get a hit. I get like a counter hit. I combo you to corner, break the wall of Wild Assault. I have like 20, 30 meter or so because of this. I high low you. I do one of two things. Either I high low you, or I run up and do like a quote unquote safe jump into like dash close slash. Okay. Now I have 50 because they nerfed positive for the top tiers because the duration is shorter, but they buffed it for me because the meter gain is higher. Because Iacon doesn't have like 3 buttons, it's a multi-special move like that. She can't do that. So I only need to do like safe jump and then dash 1 button, and I get 50 from the sequence. Then I high low you. If I hit this high low, then I take advantage of a super where I do a fucking damage glitch. And if this shit hits you, you either actually died or you have like 5% HP left after another wall break. And then I do it again. How good does that sound to you? This is legit how I got Fifth at Frosty too, because no
Damn.
people did not realize how much damage they were about to take, and it's from a super, so you can't burst. You can't burst after the super hits you. So they just go, oh, he's doing a super in a weird spot, and they just watch like 40% of their HP just disappear because they don't even fucking know the thing is in the game.
Damn, this
Yeah.
sounds pretty solid. Because I was about to say, depending upon how optimized the routing is, or what your meter is, one route sounds damage positive, the other route sounds meter positive, which are putting your opponent in like a huge, like, guessing game, depending upon which one you're going to go to next, following your previous move from round start.
So true. Japan thought she's bottom 3.
What the?
And then Japan watched me get top 5 at Biken, and then they had a huge argument of whether the character is bad or not. And then they're still like, I don't know, that's just one guy. She's probably bad.
One guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one guy. Yeah, this is one guy. She's probably bad. And then by the end of that version, I'm like, yeah, she's like bottom 7. As a bottom 7 character, that's what they do to you.
Okay, region.
Yes. It is a problematic mechanic. It is a very, 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 very bad mechanic.
Let's see here. Next question. Go back to the panel ruse. Was a problem with hindsight? We covered that one. Who loses the milk? Covered that one. So, while this was taken out for like the better prosperity of design philosophy, does removing it simplify the game, or does it shift complexity elsewhere?
The complexity is going to shift. So what ended up happening with Water Assault is that the management of it and the application of it became a really huge factor, especially because there were so many places where you could technically use it. And you really see this example if you look at like if you have time, like try to find tweets of people talking about the removal and who it affects, and almost nobody agrees who really gets like how does it actually affect characters. There's some that people agree on. So for example, like everyone's like, yeah, Anji doesn't give a fuck, for example, because his combo ability, or Axel's like this too. Anji and Axel both have this in common. Their combo ability got buffed so much that not having red wall assault, because it's a combo, is block strings in combo, right? But in current version, it's just combo. Their combo ability is so good that it's like, what the fuck does Wild Assault do for them most of the time outside of like lock burst in specific spots, right? So outside of characters like that, where everyone kind of agrees, there's a huge spread of like opinions on like how it actually affects the game, and it comes from their usage. So I'll use my own character's example too. So especially because they're taking it out, so it doesn't matter anymore. I played Bike and she has blue Wild Assault. So the big intent behind it is that she has she has this rope she can attach to you.
Oh, her tether system.
The tether, yeah. That it's 28 frames, so it's not fast. So in other contexts, like let's say you try doing block strings or stuff, they can like escape. But if you make them block blue Wild Assault, you get it guaranteed. Like it's forced, right? But essentially, if you watch me play her, I very rarely use it for that use. Quite rarely, actually. If I do it often in a match, it's because I think the matchup is bad. Frankly, pretty much the matchup is bad if I'm doing it a lot to a character. If it's not a bad matchup, I'm probably not doing it at all. And the logic kind of comes from like, okay, let's go back to Jacko, right? So I mentioned that her Wild Assault into minion, she's like +7. So what this means for people who don't play the game is she could put this minion and she's plus enough that she could attack you first. So all the advantage she gets from the minion comes from like tapping the minion with normals or doing manual command. And the defender, outside of like passive defensive stuff like IBFD, essentially cannot do anything once they actually block the blue Wild Assault. They're like fucked, right? But Biken, the tether, in that version, the launch Wild Assault version, she's +2, and the current version she's +3. And there is a small guessing game, a weighted RPS in Viking's favor on the tether situation. It's not like you get some guaranteed high low or something like that, right? So really early playing with training partners and stuff, they were like, dude, are you really gonna spend half your burst to guess wrong on tether and then you can't burst them. And I was like, you guys are right. Yeah, you guys are right. Really,
You
really
got it.
quick. Outside of the bad matchup example, so in bad matchups you just have to you just have no choice.
Well, that makes sense because it's like it's already going to be like the ratios against you, so you want to try and help it along somewhere to get your plus frames where you can optimize, take a kink out the armor.
Yeah, it's not really like the plus frame part. Is usually she struggles against like extreme zoning, like extreme like plus on block, full screen zoning stuff. So making it so you literally can't run away for a few seconds is like a pretty good strategy, right?
Hmm.
And then like as I played more and more, there's like more like specific applications where it's like, you should do blue water soul into tether here. But mostly where you see me use it is like meter building, like the meter building example I talked about before, because technically if you do blue water soul into tether and you're good on your like tether RPS, like which you should win most of the time, it's weighted after all, right? It implies that you'll get like much more than 50 meter because your everything goes up when this shit is on, right? Plus it gives her access to mix ups that she can't do normally. So a lot of times you'll see me sit on it, just play kind of normally, and then like I'll use it to close rounds or close games with like, I have 50 meters, so I have like like a specific tether only thing that I can only do with wallet, like that type of shit, right? Just going to show that like different people will look at it differently. Because when I said I don't think it affects biking that much, many people were really surprised, and they're like, "How else do you put the tether on them?" I'm like, "I guess you never watched the character, you know." So there's that aspect, but many people, the way they use wall assault is kind of ham-fisted. Can't blame them. It's that good, so can't blame them. And it forces people to kind of just revisit these more ambiguous frame data situations that they probably either never lab, just felt like it was bad all the time, or kind of just didn't think about. And there's obviously a lot there because that's a big part of older Guilty Gear games for not all the characters, but some characters.
Okay. I was looking through some of the common things here now. The main things I've only seen that stood out was like, I wonder how Gold Lewis and Bedman players would react to this.
I mean, Goldless players are chilling, but Batman players are all complaining a lot. But it's fine. They'll be fine.
I think so. I play Bedman from time to time. He does. I love the way he plays. I think he'll do okay. Next question. Let me follow up in that. So, if you could have reworked it instead of removing it, what would you have changed?
I would have removed it.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Straightforward, chat.
Yeah. I mean, I just listed like so many reasons why I think it's not good. Like, there's no fixing it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, going into the new system mechanic, your first impressions of it. What problem is the new mechanic trying to solve?
So I think it's trying to solve two problems at the same time, actually. And they mentioned this because they had an interview about 2.0 that they released like last week on the Evo channel. So problem number one is, of course, Wild Assault is very broken. So they still want some aspect of resource management and reward, and specific. They really just like this, like managing burst. They really, really like it. But when all the things they tried was too much. So the thing about counter blitz is it's something that's only possible off medium or strong counter hits. So it kind of restricts how often you can use it, but it still has like burst lockout applications to it too. Plus it apparently causes a hard knockdown when you do it normally. We don't know about it like when you break the wall, you know. But the other problem, so it's just like still having like an offensive way to attack burst with your own burst, but not with like such outstanding reward or applications like Wild Assault did, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then the other problem was that apparently new players of the game just didn't understand the mechanic and didn't use it. So they also wanted a mechanic that like they could use. So there's that aspect too, because also the input is more simple. It's just 6D instead of 236D. So it's like they really want to see people use it a bunch, but still have that aspect of fighting bursts.
Okay. So it would be similar to like a versatile burst system.
Yeah, they still want this aspect of like, oh, do you want to spend your burst for some reason on something else, or do you want to like fight someone else's burst, like take away their burst? Because that's the whole point of Wild Soul. It's like, I'll spend a lot of my burst to take away some of yours. You know what I mean? But as we all found out, that shit is broken. So, but they still wanted a way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Next question. In terms of what it is seeking to do with being the replacement for the balancer, does it raise the skill ceiling or lower the entry barrier, or does it do both?
I have no idea. I don't really know what it's actually gonna do. Uh, like for example, like I've theory crafted some stuff. So like on paper, it should benefit my character. For example, like she has like one of the best, like numbers wise, she has like the one of the best far slashes in the game. But and it's really active too, so it should be really easy to get like the counter hit that you need because it needs to be a medium counter hit, right?
Mhm.
But everything's just theory crafting right now. It's hard to know what it's actually gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would say, does it encourage aggression or defense or creativity? But that does kind of go into a theory crafting per se.
Yeah. I mean, at the bare minimum, you could you it's pretty clear it neither encourages aggression or defense. I think because you can't do it whenever you want, right? Like Wild Assault and Deflect Shield. Like Deflect Shield, you can do at any time. Wild Assault, you can do at any time. Counter Blitz, you can't, right? Counter Blitz has a specific activation requirement, so it's like that's gonna determine one. It's like how often, right? So let's take a character that's typically like a top tier, like Leo, right?
Mhm.
Leo in theory doesn't like this mechanic that much. He the way they made his normals and stuff, he typically struggles against like kicks and like fast active disjoints like Vikings for slash. He's not counter hitting characters very much with his slash buttons. If he's getting a counter hit, it's usually with jabs and kicks, which you can't counter blitz, right? Because it's not medium or heavy, it's light or it's sorry, small or very small counter hits, right? The only two moves he really gets a lot of, technically three, would be sweep, which is medium counter hit. Actually, no, it's heavy counter hit. His 5H, which is a heavy counter hit, and his 2S, which he uses against other characters' kicks, which is like medium counter hit. You know what I mean? So there is a lot of like, I don't know if you would call this creativity. I don't know. What I call it is at least like there's a lot of like character specific application of what you would think about, because whether or not another example, we can use Jacko again, right? Jacko slashes are not the best of all time. Like her 2S is an anti-air, and her far slash is not disjoint. And then she has great kicks, but again, kicks are not medium counter hit. They're small, so she's not going to get it. Her sweep is great, so she gets it off sweep, and she would get it off like 2-3K. That's medium counter hit too. And of course, her 5H is heavy counter hit too. But a lot of her like she's not getting counter hits off pokes the way like Kai. Like Kai probably really likes this mechanic. He has like one of the best far slashes in the game. Really hard to whip punish. Medium counter hit. Right. So he probably loves it. And then again, like I said, in theory, Iacon loves it. Like she has one of the best far slashes in the game. She can't combo off it most of the time on normal hit. So having like an extra benefit on counter hit, she probably, emphasis on probably, I don't actually know, but emphasis on probably likes it. So it's a lot of like thinking about how much does your character care, and you can't do it off special moves either. To my knowledge, you can't do it off a special move. So my bad about the Jacko 236K.
Oh no, you're good. No, it's just going
Yeah,
into like
yeah.
her being like a pokey character, but not really a like routing character off of the pokes. Like,
No, she's not a poking character. Is what I'm trying to say.
oh,
Jacko.
okay.
Yeah, like she's not like known for her pokes. Like there's stuff that she could get counter hits off of, but it's like let's say like Jacko 2D because that shit is pretty good and it's active forever. They use it a lot. Da da da. I feel like slightly just throwing out numbers, but for every like one counter hit they get with that, I probably get like 5 / counter hits.
Yeah. So in that theory, in theory, that does sound like a pretty fair trade-off in like the exchange.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Next question, and then one of my friends in chat, she wanted to say hey to you, Bunny Pop Live.
Oh, yeah, what's up?
Oh, Bunny, I don't know if you're still out there, but thank you for lurking and thanks for tuning in. We still got a good ways left to go here. Let me see. To spice it up, what, considering the changes that characters have coming in, and I can see them probably playing to some of these new tunes. What is what's the more abusable thing you've thought of so far on the changes?
Nothing to honestly, just my / is broken, so I'm gonna get to use it a lot. Like that's pretty much it. Like you can't do it when you want. You know what I mean? That's like the big thing. I don't think it's gonna affect the game that much. I could be wrong, but again, just the fact that you can't do it whenever you want is probably like the huge factor. It's the main reason also why we don't talk about deflect shield very much. Even though you can do it wherever you want, you have to use it in like the right place, as opposed to Wild Assault where you can kind of just like ham fist it. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, because the regular barrier you can throw out there, but then you also lose tension every now and again when you go to use it.
Mm.
Uh, Next question. Let me skip that one because we did inadvertently answer that one. How hard will it be for veterans to unlearn old habits of the last patch?
It kind of depends. Uh, I think that Wild Assault is overall toned down so much that probably the people who would have the most difficulty adjusting are the characters that really rely on it for some reason, like Bedman, for example. Like Bedman Axel, for example, you have to use it, right? So it's either like that type of thing, or like people who really heavily relied on blue Wild Assault, because the way that red Wild Assault is now is just like, despite still being really good, it's such a shell of its former self. And like, since you can't cancel it on block, like they've had months of not just blindly dialing red Wild Assault on everything, you know. So I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I think it's gonna be just a character thing, you know. Like some characters are gonna really feel it, especially amongst blue. I think among blue Wild Assault characters, you'll see a lot of people being like, "Oh my fucking god! Like, how do you play the game without this?" You know.
I do hear those in the background now, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next, a question. Uh, do legacy skills still transfer, or are players resetting to square one?
It depends how they balance the game. It is a character game, so in the case of like a rework, right? The way they reworked Ram and Pot, I don't think it affected people who played the character for a long time at all. I think it just juiced people who play those characters for a long time. Which is why I'm really keeping an eye on what they want to announce for Happy Chaos and Asuka and whoever else they want to rework. I think specifically in the case of Asuka, they are gonna be set back a lot. He has a really specific skill set. It's hard to learn, and I mean, the only thing I could say is that it might be easier for them to, because he also has a high skill floor, the highest skill floor, like the highest amount of effort to like actually start playing a character is Asuka.
Yeah.
Um, so he might be actually easier to pick up, maybe, but the main thing being like those two characters, as they're more technical characters than Ram and Pot. You know, like a lot of the things that's really dumb or broken about them is a lot of like if this then that, or like this amount of resource means that, or you know, like that type of stuff.
Hmm.
So like if you play a character like that, and they make major changes or rework you, then you're gonna be set back a lot. I've been there too. That's happened to me plenty of times in the past. But overall, if your character's just getting balanced, just straight up, then it should not be too crazy. I think.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Because I remember, shoot, Chad, I remember when we had our first things coming back. I was trying to play Ram after her first nerf that wasn't too bad, and then it was like the second or the third change when they changed the amount of time it takes for the swords to come back to her.
Yeah.
That did kind of mess up my flow of neutral a pretty good amount.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's not too bad of a setback, but it is noticeable to where it's like, okay, I do have to actually think and act differently now that I notice it.
Mm-hmm.
Next question. How long do you think it'll take for a stable meta to develop?
It depends on what do you mean by stable meta? Like just like, oh, this is what's good and this is what is not good.
Yeah, like like identifying, I guess, like in some sense, like characters that upon rework or upon the new changes could be seen as like potential winners and losers of the patch that could be more beginner or technical friendly to the audience.
It really depends. Um, I'm not really good at like saying when things would be settled. I think that people will try to like lock in like a top 5 very quickly, as people like to do. But
Yeah.
things can really move around, you know. Like things can move around. I just posted a tier list for this patch. It took me months, and my opinion changed a lot from like week 1 of Lucy to like now, you know. Uh,
Oh, for sure.
and even then, things could still move around, you know. So if it's just about like determining what's the best stuff, I don't actually think it will take that long. But if it's determining of like, oh, what the game actually is, it's like who knows, you know.
See, actually, I'm kind of curious. Where did you end up putting Lucy at? Because I was actually curious of her since she got here. Because she felt like a
Uh,
beautiful addition to the roster, even if she might not have been like the strongest. She was like among one of the more creative with it because of her mechanics.
I think she's like decent. Competitively, she has a few problems. Mostly in that the opponent can use burst to mitigate damage by a lot, because all her damage is behind like status effects. So since you can see the status effect to happen, her damage is low unless she puts a status effect on you. So
Right.
like since you can see that happen, you're like, oh, status effects on me, burst, and then like that makes it so she has to hit you like 10 times or something. And then she's also really weak to passive defense, like IBFD and stuff, and deflect shield, which makes it hard for her. But besides that, I think she's pretty good. Then the other thing is like, I think they were kind of like wishy washy with making her, because it feels like when I play her, they were like, wait, she's too good. We gotta like change a bunch of shit like last minute, like how her gun does nothing on normal hit, or like how she doesn't really have like a 50-50, you know, like even though her moves make it look like she should have 50-50, she just doesn't like. Uh, so she's like decent, but more of like a, honestly in my head, like a counter picking character. Like I definitely don't think you could solo main Lucy and win tournaments right now, at least.
Okay. Because like when she
Yeah.
first came out, like I figured like she felt complicated in the way that I figured like her mechanics were like all subtle installs based off of how much integers you have in order to give her which things, and these were like buffs or installs that could
Mm-hmm.
optimize her the ways that you need to play her, either offensively, defensively, tactically speaking, and so on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the first
Yeah.
impression I got with her having like that huge like technical thing about her.
Unfortunately, what happened is, and frankly, I think if I made her or something, I would probably be that guy. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, the way that people optimize her is that they just stack on poison. They just do like either quadruple poison, where they do like 2 poison, counter hit poison. So just do as much damage as you can. Because she's just not good at doing damage without it. So like all her biggest cash outs are like quadruple poison or like 3 poison, 1 counter hit. And they exclusively use the super for damage.
This is from people in tournament or just like like
Yeah,
across? Oh, okay. Because I
yeah,
was
like
thinking
the
people have in
top
tournament.
ones.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
people have tried stuff. Like I have a friend who's a really good Lucy player, and he has times where like he'll use like the invisibility, the camouflage thing, or he'll use the thing that locks out the opponent's meter. He uses it every now and then, but like many matchups, it's just quadruple poison or like triple poison counter hit.
Damn. So
Especially if they don't have burst. If they don't have burst, it's almost always like quadruple poison.
damn. Yeah. Okay. That actually does make sense. And she's
Yeah.
how good is her ability at gaining resources or applying the RC?
It's okay. She's good at building meter. Another problem she has is that she's not really good at applying the debuff, the meterless debuff, because it's like either it doesn't debuff you. Okay, so like the first timing to debuff is like I want to say it's 32 frames, and there's like no variability at all. So she can't vary the timing of releasing the monowire until after the debuff is applied. So it's either you don't do it or you have to wait 32 frames. And also the monowire is only 3 frame active, so it's like there's a lot of shit you could do to fight the move. There's a lot of stuff you could do to fight it. So it's like you're kind of encouraged to use blue water salt to apply it, because if you do blue water salt, then the monowire is guaranteed. And if blue water salt is also in the stack, then there's a bunch of stuff you could do to like chase them or like charge the monowire longer so you hit something like that stuff. But that's all dependent on if you have water salt available or not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so
Yep.
over time she is like really like resource dependent in order to
Yeah.
stay in the game.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Dang. Fair enough. I mean, I figured she was probably not going to be like the best. It doesn't really sound like she is, but I still think that she's one more of the more fun to apply.
Yeah. Of course.
Next question is we're taking a look into the new characters, since we know that they're adding Jam and Robokai. Do the new characters feel designed around the new system?
No idea. We don't know shit about Robokai, and then Jam looks like old Jam, and then like that's it. Again, since we don't know how counterblitz actually affects games, it's really hard to say like if the new characters are really designed around them. I think the question is valid because it's so clear that Johnny is made with Waddle in mind. Like he's the first Waddle character, like character added with that mechanic. So it's really obvious he's made with that in mind. Like they thought about that and how he works with that. So it's like, especially if no knowledge on Jam. So for example, would be like, okay, if she had like her old far slash, I don't even know what fucking. Oh, it's she sticks out her fist, right?
Yeah.
So she has her old far slash and she has her old 2S, right? If those are, if she has those, then what they would probably do is give those medium counter hit. So, but do we say, oh, she has her old far slash, she has her old 2S, and has medium counter hit, so she was made with counter blitz in mind? Would we say that? Or if they did something like, oh, she has her old far slash, but she has like Jacko 2S for God knows what reason, then she's not made with the new mechanic in mind, right? Because why would they give her one normal that you're not gonna get counter hits a lot? Because 2S, you're not gonna get a lot of counter hits with it if it's anti-tier, right?
Right.
I don't know. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. You just gotta wait. We have like zero info, so
Okay.
yeah.
Next question. Actually, that did actually inadvertently answer the one after that one. What kind of player do you think the new characters appeals to, based off of how they used to play?
Yeah. I'll only talk about like more competitive people, but it's like Jam's kind of like a rushdown character. She's oddly all round, and her main she's actually kind of like Leo in this regard. I'm like Leo's like an all rounder, but like he's not. And like the thing about Leo, and the reason why so few tournament players play him, even though he's so fucking good, is because he's just really fucking counterintuitive. It's like his pokes suck,
Defense,
but then
right?
they also are like, no, it's not about defense. The defense is the easiest part, frankly. And even then, his defense, because you would think that. I'm sorry, I won't assume. Would you think his defense is the easiest part of playing him?
No, I would feel that he is like a defensive based character in the ways that he doesn't make the first move. He plays based off of reaction, not action.
Yeah, so you can see why this character makes no sense because you're really off the mark. Like he's the one making he makes shit happen in all our matches. He's running you down. He's got like the moves you use with him are just like such odd choices. Like his 2K is just brawlic for no reason. And his 5K like is randomly like even or like I think you can even make a plus from neutral randomly. His jab is broken, but then like his pokes suck because they're not disjointed, so he loses everyone's poke. But then like you can whiff the poke, and he has armor on everything that's not lows. So like if you're like Soul for example, and he whiffs a button, he could just stand there, and you're like, what the fuck do I do about this? You
Yeah.
know. And then he could also whiff cancel this into a move that is disjoint and is heavy counter hit. So like that's part of your toolkit. And then like so much, or like his defense, right? Like okay, here's a flash kick, okay, easy. But then like his 5 frame is his standing jab. So it's like technically his dash throw is 4. So if you want to mash, there's spots where you have to dash throw, and that's how you mash with him. Like he just has to do a bunch of weird shit. So I think Jam is like similar. Like she's an all rounder, but like traditionally her pokes are not good. Like what she's really good at is like moving into a space quickly with a big hitbox. That's what she's good at. She's not good at like to make it very simple. She's not like a Kai where like you can run at somebody, throw out a big button, or you can like walk away with punish. She's not that type of character. But she is like a rushdown character, and using special moves for movement is I find that bad players really like special moves for movement, and she has a bunch of that, so they'll probably like that too, right? And I'm
Oh
saying
yeah.
competitively. Sorry, not in general. I'm saying competitively, specifically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Where we okay. Robokai, I think it's just for people like Bedman would like playing him. His redesign, I think, will probably attract more people because he doesn't look like weird robot Kai. He looks like a cool guy now. But outside of that, it's like with no info on what they would do to him because he has an extremely odd playstyle in ACR and like a totally different meter than everyone else, different movement, different like everything than everyone else. So it's like in his case, like who knows what they're gonna do. But I feel like it's just like people with like weird playstyles will like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people that I know that I've been playing with honestly had like weird speculations about this guy having a totally different playstyle just because the design looks different and there was already Robokai put in the game that's kind of featured as like a tag along with Venom.
Yeah, I can't comment without actually knowing what they're gonna do. Like
Yeah.
like how do you guess? At that point, I mean, it's far easier for a character like Jam than like he's just has such a different playstyle from everyone else in the whole game that it's like the closest thing you got is that something along the lines of what he used to do is the closest guess you have.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Next question. I was going to take a small pivot because there was a tweet also that you had that actually was like interesting that had to do with the design globe. If you wanted to talk on it real quick.
The what?
It was a tweet that you had. It was this particular one, not what you said, but it was just a good conversation that sparked in terms of like proper glow up between like designs of old and designs of past, which I thought is like interesting. Not so much for like talking about Jam's update, but when I look at the whole roster and I think about like whether or not you could really say like did Strive do good on the design contrast in like how the presentation was updated. It was necessary to update them that way the characters could be older. That was the plus point. I feel depending upon how you like the old designs, at the cost of better lighting and Strive with better lighting and animation style, the attire and the appeal could probably vary with the person.
Yes, I agree. For sure. To be honest, I basically like all the new designs. I kind of am lucky. I'm lucky because like my classic main is Milia, and she looks the same basically in Stripe. I don't know. She just has a bigger booty in Stripe, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, but it's basically the same idea as Exerd. And then Baiken is like legitimately like 95% the same. So the characters I ended up playing are like the same. But
Like
I mean,
Iacon
the
really has
reason
had the
why,
same design outline the whole time. The only thing that's gotten bigger is option A, option B.
yeah, I mean, so the thing about her is that she got the big redesign in Exerd because she didn't look like that in XX.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So from XX, honestly, you know, maybe odd way of wording it, but like from XX to Exerd, she kind of had like this strife, and it was a huge deal actually when they announced Baiken. I actually remember like Kotaku was writing articles about sexualization and shit. Everyone was like, "Oh, they hypersexualized her. Like, why did they do this? Why did they do this? Why did they do this?" So it's funny you brought that memory back to me because it's so funny that Exer Biken, people are like they're hypersexualizing Biken, and then like Jam, they're like, oh, they're censoring Jam. I don't know, you can't win this shit, man. I don't
You
know.
just can't win.
Yeah, what I ended up learning was that
Chad, I'll show
there's
you
a
what I'm
video
talking about.
there's a video that a lot of people recommended to me that I haven't gone to watch yet, but a thing that I found pretty interesting that a bunch of people said is like I think there's truth in this. I think there's truth in this, and I haven't actually gotten to experience it because of like my own personal interests, right? So, for example, it's like okay, I play a lot. Okay, like I played Blaze Blue, right?
Yeah.
There's probably not going to be a new Blaze Blue, right? So, Blaze Blue from CT to CF, art changes aside in every title iteration. The sprites, for example, and the basic character designs have been the same. Like Lychee has never changed, just the art changed. Like they got a new artist. Hey, draw Lychee the way you want, right?
Right.
If they come out of Blaze Blue tomorrow, it is likely they change Lychee. I don't know how. I don't know what way they would go, but they would do it. Just to say that I didn't have that chance to like experience that. Or I use an example of in Persona 4 Ultimax. So okay, in Persona 4 Arena, I played Mitsuru, right?
Okay.
And Persona 4 happens after Persona 3. Stupid sense, I know, but hear me out. So in Persona 4 Arena, so the original Persona 4 fighting game, Mitsuru's in the game, but she is like 24 and not like 16. So she has a new outfit. Like I mean, she's taller. She has a different outfit. Or like Akiko is like everyone is like aged up. And in Ultimax, they added the rest of the P3 characters. So there's like instead of 9-year-old Ken, there's like 16-year-old Ken, or like Yukari is like grown up, and like everyone's grown up. And I had the thought of like, oh, I wonder what would happen if it came out now instead of like 2013, 2014. If this would have happened, you know, because also Twitter is relatively new at the time Persona comes out. You know, it's like a couple of years old,
Yeah.
as opposed to like a more than 10-year-old platform, right? And then one of my main interests is Fire Emblem, and Fire Emblem, you know, every game or every 2 games they fucking scrap everything and start over. So you know, even though some people are like, there's arguments about like, you know, they're turning into like a waifu game and stuff now. The bare minimum is that like, you know, you expect something new is coming,
Right.
at some point, right? So you expect something new. So Guilty Gear is kind of like the first time I've even like encountered this thing, and a really common thing I saw from people was like, there's a type of person who, if the thing isn't catered for me, no one can have it, and that thought has really stuck with me. Especially when I think about how much like, especially gacha games um like make such specific characters just like with such specific like accents and stuff. You know what I mean? That's probably like the most I got out of it. I still want to like look at more stuff about that. But you know, it is what it is. I kind of think it's just like kind of dumb. But I was just like, damn, dude, like, why are you crying? And like, you know, I would go through the thread and someone would say some super extreme shit, and like another person would like take their handle and then look for the word Guilty Gear on their profile, and there will not be a single word. And the other person's response was like, "Oh, you don't have to always talk about your hobbies all the time." I searched Guilty Gear on my profile. I have said the word Guilty Gear, the phrase Guilty Gear, so many times. You know, you could argue like it's my main thing, sure, but it's like, okay, what about Fire Emblem? I don't make a living off Fire Emblem. I talk about Fire Emblem all the time, or like Zelda, for example. Like I love Zelda, but I don't make a living off Zelda, but if you search like Lore Night Zelda, there's plenty, plenty of tweets because I like it, you know. So
Expansion.
you know, or like okay, let's say like bike riding, like cycling, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a passing interest in cycling, but I don't really think about cycling. I don't do it, you know. And coincidentally, I don't have strong takes about cycling. You know,
Wow.
I'm not going into like Tour de France drama, you know, or like talking
Right.
shit about top cyclists because I don't care about I don't care that much. I'm not that involved. You know, I think it's cool. That's cool. If I meet a pro cycler, that'd be sick. I'd love to talk to a pro cycler.
Yeah.
But like
It's not a
you
hobby or
know,
nothing. Yeah.
yeah. So I found it really interesting, and that thing really stuck with me. Probably like the main short term thing that I've learned from like honestly, that was a crash out tweet too. Like I probably saw like 50 or 60 tweets about Jam and debating about Jam before I saw just one more plus like replies to it where I'm just like, dude, okay, man. Like someone needs to explain this shit to me, man. Like, what is the problem? You know.
Well, granted, yes, that was probably a gooner take in some retrospect that you
And
can.
I think just saying it's gooner is lazy, by the way, because I actually think like some things. Sorry to
Mhm.
interrupt you, but like I feel like the way that some people reply, I'm like okay, don't worry about it, it's just incels, or like okay, don't worry about it, it's just some gooner like hypnotist gooner. I'm like okay, but it's like if so many people, all if not even so many people, because it could be a vocal minority, but if there's enough people who are saying this, there's something that is bothering them, you know. And I actually think, at least from what I've looked through, the number one thing that I kind of like agree with is that thing of like, if it's not for me, it's not for anybody, and that's the problem. They'll say censorship and stuff, but like, I don't think so, frankly. It
Oh
doesn't
no,
feel
it's
that way
definitely a
anyway.
bigger issue than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I don't say
Yeah.
gooner to dismiss it, but I say gooner in terms of there is some type of intention there to a degree if people like the design glow up, not because of okay goo goo gaga, but they're trying to mask that behind the what was it, the like I said about the better lighting ratio aspect. When honestly some designs, while they might look better, may actually inadvertently be a nerf to the original concept, despite still honoring the cultural
Mm.
continuation.
And the thing is that this person used like the worst picture. Like I almost felt like this was rage bait because like so many of the other like Strive Jam specifically is like she's very leggy. You know, she's very flowy. A really common thing is like the female characters are so flowy.
Yeah.
So it's like she's really flowy and like leggy. But the picture they use, like she looks really bratty, and like I remember when I was watching the trailer that like I thought they used a kind of, I was like, oh, why is she looking so smug with this fucking rabbit? You know, but you know, it's neither here nor there. Like as soon as she's actually playable, like it's not gonna be a thing anymore. You know, they're gonna move on to the next like you know character that's gonna
There'll
piss
be
them
a new
off.
meme that'll come out around this
Yeah,
or something. So yeah.
yeah.
Let me see. Next question, as we go into the competitive scene and the esports angle here, is how disruptive would this be for tournaments in the short term?
What do you mean?
I guess in terms of how people would apply a lot of new things in the tournaments, or would they? In some sense, it also kind of might backtrack to my old habits take, where like how disruptive in the sense of falling back on old habits to do the new execution as opposed to just doing the new execution in the new day.
I see. I mean, if you're a player who specifically does well quickly, it'll benefit you. You know, especially if you can find something that other people don't find. Like, I'm kind of old enough that I played a bunch of like, oh, you have to figure out something really fast. So even though I say I don't feel like I'm really good at it, I've done well in that format, you know. But like, not everyone performs well in that format. And then especially if like your character for whatever reason needs more development, then you're definitely gonna suffer for a while. But it depends if you look at that as suffering. It just depends.
Yeah, because some people can
But
also look at that as growing pains, but not everybody looks at like struggle busing right now or in this
yeah.
day and age as the growing pains aspect of you're still getting better, learning your character from the ground up because it's new.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I can say is like if you're truly good, you can adapt to like anything.
Yeah.
I mean, to the limit of your character's strength and like what you're willing to do too. But basically, yeah.
Next question. Is this the kind of update that could reshuffle player rankings?
It could. It depends. Depends on like everyone always makes a joke of like people get patched in and stuff. So it really depends on like what happens with character balance and like if there's something like really major, so like really really major, and there was someone who was good, but like their character legit was just not it. Like a meaningful buff like would help like a lot. I don't think it would. Again, like if you're good, you're just good. So I don't think it will affect things that much. But I would definitely expect some people to struggle and some new faces.
Okay. Which makes sense because I mean there could also be, but it does also like fuel the background funny things. Okay, like where it's like it's your like what you were just saying your patch, so you kind of get installed into this edition of the game where you're playing your main, you're making your placements and whatnot. Because your character you want to play probably did get buff or was one of the benefactors of it, and so now you're here.
Mm-hmm.
Next question. Would you want a major tournament played on this patch immediately?
I mean, it's not about want; they're doing it. So
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, ideally, I would wait at least 2 months, but it's only gonna be 3 weeks before the first major tournament for the game. So
Yeah, because Paragon or Tampa is literally just like bet.
no, Evo Japan.
Oh, even quicker
Evo
bet.
Japan. Yeah, Evo Japan is the first tournament.
Never mind. Are you getting? Are you gonna try and head out that way, or just see what unfolds?
I cannot confirm right now.
Fair enough. Next question. Long term, looking at the visor, is this the best direction for Strive?
Uh, Hard to say without knowing what else they're doing to the game. However, uh, removing Wild Assault, I mean, it's that big of a deal. Like it affects the game so much, even after multiple rounds of nerfs. So like, you know, I would find it very okay because here's the thing about season 4 and like why everyone's so pissed about season 4. It's Wild Assault from 3, but then they also juice the fuck out of characters. So it's like they don't really need to nerf characters that much since they removed Wild Assault. Like characters can kind of stay at their current power level with no Wild Assault. It was just like also having Wild Assault is like just like dude, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so at bare minimum, like with such a good change because it is a good change. It is a good change. Like we all did our best with what we had, and there was strategies to like mitigate round Wild Assault, play around Wild Assault, and use it to the best of your ability. But you know they would have to do some crazy shit to take Wild Assault out, and then still make people feel like the initial Strive 2 patch is not good. And outside of like quick bitching about like the new number 1 character or whatever, because that's always gonna happen.
Yeah, that happens like every rodeo.
Yeah.
I will say though, some top ones actually were really surprising. I don't think everybody was really unanimous on who top one was, unless that actually just won a major event. But every single one that inadvertently, weirdly enough, led to a nerf for the character, I thought was actually okay. Pretty nice that every character kind of got their moment in the sun.
I mean, that's people's complaints. Not every character got their moment in the sun.
Unfortunately, not.
Yeah. Very, very common strivism.
Let me see. I do believe that closes all the rest of my general Q&A. Chat, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know now, and I can go ahead and I can pop the question here to Lord Knight while we're here. My question as my wrap up here to you guys, the viewers, is so with everything that's changing, the system mechanics, something new coming, something old leaving, the characters on the way, and the way that the game is going to play now on the new landscape. When we look back at this update a few months from now, do you think that this was the moment Guilty Gear Strive truly evolved? Or is it the moment that it lost a part of its defining aspect? If someone hasn't touched Strive in a while, or is thinking about jumping into it for the very first time after this update, would you tell them this is the perfect time to start? Or did you miss what made it special?
Well, I mean, I just tell people if they want to start, just start. I'm a really big proponent of that. I've had a few people ask me, should I play now or wait for the update? I'm like, well, you're thinking about playing, so you might as well just play.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say that Wild Assault is the secret sauce of Strive, you know? I mean, if anything, it's the fucking high fructose corn syrup.
Oh, damn.
Honestly.
No, that's where the doctor tells you don't need that.
You know? But I mean, basically, if someone has the intent of playing, I'm never gonna, especially for fun, I'm never gonna say like no. You know, I usually get a little bit more specific in my recommendations depending on people's intent with the game. But if it's just like boot up and like try to have some fun, I'm like, yeah, like if you wanna, like just do it. You know. And I'm not really like there's like a glory days of the game really. I could say maybe there's like a version I particularly enjoyed or like certain aspects I miss. But I find it hard to be like, yeah, like, damn, you really missed out on Wild Assault. You know, you really missed out on like Broken Nago and like Broken Gold Lewis and you know, like, nah, you know.
I'm good. But I think that will conclude it for now. I don't think anybody has any questions at the moment. So, Lord Knight, I want to take time to really thank you for taking time out of your evening to sit with me tonight, and we go over the whole denouement of Guilty Gear Strive original as we get ready to welcome in Guilty Gear 2.0.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. If there's anything else going on down the road, I'd love to have you back for a future episode.
Sure.
Oh yeah. Speaking of other games you play, do you play Golden Sun by chance?
Yes, I have.
Oh my man, that's a game I wish that could get updated or get ported to console or something, because that game has been due for like an overhaul for the new generation.
I mean, yeah. I mean that's one. You know, it's never actually gotten like. There's some games where I feel like they get remakes over and over, and there are other games I'm like, why don't they ever fucking? Why don't they do this? You know?
Yeah. It's like not anybody of this generation like may directly know of Golden Sun or like the Dark Age or any of those other games from Game Boy, or even the follow up they did with those main heroes as kids in Golden Sun Dark Dawn. But I still think that it would be a great game of yester generation to bring into the current one that is still continuing the IP success points. Anybody you want us to raid?
Excuse me?
Anybody you want us to raid?
Not off the top of my head, actually. Yeah, if you're rating, just whoever you do normally. That's it, I guess.
Okay, that's why usually whoever it is I have on for any of these episodes, or anybody who wins my tournaments or anything, they always decide wherever it is that we go to raid for the night. Let me see. It's on the algorithm now. Oh, Paragon's live right now with a top 8 bracket. Hang on.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Speaking of which, Guilty Gear.
And for those of you guys that have not already gone on ahead in my following, go ahead and definitely leave a follow here for Lord Knight here. You generally know one of the FGC connoisseurs, Fire Emblem aficionado, YouTuber, Twitch, Metafy, patron. You can definitely be among the Lord Knight Chronicles whenever. Just seek to hit him up whenever it is that he's around. He always answers. Join him on stream. You always learn something at the end of the day. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to get ready to raid Paragon FGC. So if you guys got my emotes, spam them. Let them know where you come from here at Iacon Central. I'll leave you guys with some Guilty Gear Strive for the night as Paragon's wrapping up their top 8 bracket. You guys take care out there, and like I always say, till all are one.